Hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Today we're looking at 1 Chronicles 14 and 15. Now, we've been cruising through the book of Chronicles. A lot of names involved here, and we're going to get some more today. But we first get a summary of King David. He gives a little bit of his life, a little bit of what is happening. But really, Chronicles so far has been just these little snapshots of stories. We already read kind of the full versions back in 1st and 2nd Samuel. So we're getting these snapshot versions, but it's adding these names in and people that are important. So we find David has been confirmed as king with the nation. He begins to multiply. He gets multiple wives, has multiple children. He also defeats the Philistines 2 times. And once is a miraculous victory where God is marching on the treetops and then they rush out to battle. And I told you back in the other video that we were going to run across the story again. Boom, there it is. So, David then assembles the Levites and they're going to carry the ark. So if you recall, the ark has been brought so far, but Uzzah got fried because he touched the ark. And so that's what happened there. But now he's assembled the Levites. They're going to carry the ark instead of put it on a cart. But of course, since it's Chronicles, Ezra is going to list all of the guys involved and all the important Levites. So we're going to get that list of names. They're called to sanctify themselves, carry the ark. And that's really what they should be doing. We should be making ourselves holy in front of God to serve him. That call is still true for us today. But we also find out they play musical instruments, and we get to know that group of people doing that. And of course, now then we'll get the famous David dancing scene. And it says he's dancing in a robe and a linen ephod. And so, hey, maybe you can help me out here. Put a comment in the comments. Why is it that people think David was naked? Because we've read both stories that this refers to. And in neither one is he unclothed, but he's wearing a linen ephod in both. And this is saying he has a robe. I haven't seen it yet. So again, please comment if you know what that's all about. In the meantime, let's jump in. Chapter 14. Now, Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and timber of cedars and masons and carpenters to build him a house. We know that Hiram had a great relationship with David, going back and forth there between the two countries. And David perceived that the king had confirmed him as king over Israel, for his kingdom was lifted up on high because of his people Israel. David took more wives at Jerusalem. David begat more sons and daughters, and these are the names of his children he had in Jerusalem: Shammua and Shobab, Nathan and Solomon, and Ibhar and Elishua and Elipalet and Noga and Nepheg and Japhiah and Elishama and Beliada and Eliphelet. There you go. When the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over Israel, all the Philistines went up to seek David. David heard of it. He went out against them. The Philistines came and spread themselves in the valley of the Rephaim. And David inquired of God, saying, "Shall we go up against the Philistines? And wilt thou deliver them into my hand?" The Lord said unto him, "Go up, for I will deliver them into thine hand." And they came to Baal Perazim, and David smote them there. Then David said, "God hath broken in upon mine enemies by my hand, like the breaking forth of waters." Therefore they called the name of it Baal Perazim. And when they had left their gods there, David gave the commandment, and they were burned with fire. Hey, if you were with us through the book of 2 Kings, this is what the king should have been doing all along. Burning these false gods, these idols. They should have just burned them all. Instead, they would set them up. They would worship in them. They were always caught. And all those kings that got a bad grade, that's exactly where they messed up. Serving false gods. Second battle. And the Philistines yet again spread themselves abroad in the valley. Therefore David inquired again of God. And God said unto him, "Go not up after them. Turn away from them. Come again over against the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when thou hearest the sound on the tops of the mulberry trees, then thou shalt go up for battle. For God is gone forth before thee to smite the host of the Philistines." And let me tell you, when you're fighting a war, you want God going in front of you. That is for sure. David therefore did as God commanded, and they smote the host of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gazer. And the fame of David went into all the lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him upon all nations. Chapter 15. And David made him houses in the city of David, and prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched for it a tent. Then David said, none ought to carry the ark but the Levites. That's the law. That's where they ran into trouble with Uzzah. For them hath the Lord chosen to carry the ark of God, and to minister unto him forever. David gathered unto Israel together to Jerusalem, to bring up the ark of the Lord unto his place, that he had prepared for it. And David assembled the children of Aaron and the Levites, the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief and his brethren, 120. The sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief and his brethren, 220. The sons of Gershom, Joel the chief and his brethren, 130. The sons of Eliphazan, Shemaiah the chief and his brethren, 200. The sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief and his brethren, 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief and his brethren, 112. And David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priest, and for the Levites, for the Uriel, Asaiah and Joel, Shemaiah and Eliel and Aminadab. And he said unto them, ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord, God of Israel, unto the place I have prepared for it. For because ye did not at first, therefore the Lord made a breach upon us. He's referring to Uzziah, which he said God made a breach. For what we sought him not after the due order. So the priest and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the God of Israel. And the children of the Levites bear the ark of the God on the shoulders with the staves there. And remember, they could touch the staves or the poles, but they couldn't touch the physical ark. Thereon, as Moses commanded, according to the word of the Lord. David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and of his brethren Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and the sons of Merari and their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their brethren of the second degree, Zechariah, Ben, Jahaziel, Sheremoth, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Messiah, and Mattithiah, and Eliphelah, and Micniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, the porters. So the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with the cymbals of brass. And Zechariah, and Aziel, and Meroth, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Masariah, and Benaiah with psalteries on Alamoth, and Mattithiah, and Elipheleth, and Micniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, and Azariah with harps on Sheminith to excel. Lots of instruments. And Chenaniah, chief of the Levites, was for song. He instructed about song because he was skillful. And Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. And Shebaniah and Jehoshaphat and Nethanel and Amasiah and Zechariah and Benaiah and Eleazar the priest did blow the trumpets before the ark of God. And Obed-Edom and Jehiah were the doorkeepers for the ark. So David, with the elders of Israel and captains over thousands, went to bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to pass, when God helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Chenaniah, the master of the song with the singers. David also had had upon him the ephod of linen. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouting, and with sound of cornet, and with trumpets, and with cymbals, making a noise, and with psalteries, and with harps. And it came to pass, as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, who was his wife, was looking out of the window, saw King David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart. So there you go. He's brought it up. He's pretty excited to worship before God and lead his people. And remember, he got a great grade as God gave him an A, I would say, as a great king, because he worshiped God. He followed God. He messed up, yes, but his heart and soul was after God. All the other kings just kind of did their own thing and worshiped false gods. Big difference here. So Michal needs to check herself, that's all. All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we're going to continue in to see what David did in these snapshots of stories that we saw before. And remember, it's a summary as Chronicles closes out the Hebrew Scriptures. All right, thanks for joining us. Catch you next time.